March 14th, 2025. A death notice was sent from the universe. This letter has been floating in space for 13.4 billion years. Just arrived on Earth. Infrastructure workers are a star. He died when the universe was only 700 million years old. The Milky Way hadn't been born yet. The sun isn't even an embryo, but death has already begun. Even more outrageous is scientists used the James Webb Telescope. After interpreting this letter, collective silence. Why? Because of this ridiculously ancient star. The way he died was exactly the same as the way a star dies today. This is very strange. The universe is only 700 million years old. Stars at that time, theoretically, they should be completely different species, but their manner of death. But it looks like it was copied and pasted. The universe is lying. Or is it our understanding of the universe? It was wrong from the start. The story begins on an ordinary Friday. Early morning of March 14th. The Cinefringe Collaborative SVOM satellite is currently performing routine patrols. Suddenly, the sensors started alarming wildly. A powerful gamma-ray leopard pierced through space. It lasted for a full 10 seconds. 10 seconds is not even a blink of an eye on a cosmic scale. But it was those 10 seconds completely rewrote astronomy textbooks, because this is not an ordinary gamma-ray report. He carried a code from the dawn of the universe. 90 minutes later, NASA's Swift telescope, the same position, X, was also captured. X-ray signal. Scientists are beginning to realize they might have run into a big fish. The next 11 hours, observatories around the world went into a frenzy. The Nordic Optical Telescope, located in the Canary Islands. First, the afterglow of the explosion was a ball, a faint, almost invisible, infrared glow, material ejected by a dying star, violently colliding with the surrounding interstellar gas. For more hours passed. Chile's Grand Telescope, a test was conducted that surprised everyone. A number that made me gasp. Red transplant 7.3. What does that mean? This means that the light, it has been in space for 13.4 billion years, traversed 99% of the history of the universe, finally arrived on Earth. The star exploded when the universe has just celebrated its 730 millionth birthday, but the real climax is yet to come. Scientists are facing a fatal problem. The expansion of the universe would slow down time. It's like looking at the other side of the highway. Cars in the lane. It was clearly very fast, but because of relative motion, it looks like it's in slow motion. Superstars typically reach their peak brightness within a few days, but this ancient superstar, because light travels through vast space and time. From Earth's perspective, his variable process was stretched to the entire 3.5 months. This gave the Webb telescope an excellent window of opportunity on July 1st. The near-infrared camera of the James Webb telescope aiming at that seemingly empty space. To know the observation time of the Webb telescope, more precious than gold, every second must undergo strict approval. But this time, the project leader, the director's emergency authority, was used directly because they know this may be the only time in human history the infancy of the universe. Chance of a star dying, lens focusing and parameter adjustments were made. And then history was in hundreds of distant galaxies. In the background noise, Webb telescope, a very faint red spot was discernible. That is GRB2 50314a, the oldest ever observed by humankind. Superstar broke Webber's his own record of 1.8 billion years, directly focusing human gaze. It has advanced into the dark age before the dawn of the universe. Even more shocking is Webber not only saw this superstar, they also detected his host galaxy, a red dot that occupies only a few pixels. It's like being on the sea on a rainy night. Not only did they find a floating match, but they also saw clearly the hand that set him on fire. But what happened next? Let all scientists, I am in unprecedented confusion. They started dividing, analyzing the light curve of the supernova. Brightness change, energy release mode. Every parameter is saying the same thing. This superstar exploded 13.4 billion years ago, and our local group today. Superstars seem almost identical. Spectral matching. Evolutionary process matches. Even the velocity of the ejected material after the explosion. This is simply impossible. You should know, the early universe and the present are completely two different worlds. Stars at that time, born in almost pure hydrogen and yang energy. The concentration of heavy elements is so low that it because not enough generations of stars have died to manufacture iron, carbon, oxygen, and other elements. Theoretical prediction. These first-generation stars should be more massive, higher temperature, shorter lifespan. The manner of death should also be more violent and unpredictable. Some models even believe energy of early supernova, it could be dozens of times more powerful than a modern The explosion mode is completely different, but observational data refuted all theories. Astrophysicist at the University of Leicester, UK, Professor Neil Tavia, wrote in his paper, "We originally examined the data with an open mind. The results showed that this superstar looks like a modern superstar. Exactly the same. Note that this is exactly the same, not just somewhat similar, not roughly similar. Instead, they are exactly the same. What does that mean? This signifies the fundamental physical laws for 99% of the history of the universe. It has maintained an astonishing stability. This is so unusual. We know that the universe is evolving. Galaxy collision. The chemical composition is changing. Even the structure of space-time is expanding. But the way stars die, like a program etched into the very core of the universe. It was written out of the book from the very beginning. 13.4 billion years have passed, and not a single character has changed. Isn't this implying something? What's even stranger is the timing. This supernova exploded when the universe is 730 million years old. It is right in the ionization era, one of the most crucial turning points in the history of the universe. At that time, the first stars had just ignited. The strong radiation they emitted, gradually burning through the originally neutral hydrogen cloud in the universe, make the entire universe transparent. Superstar explosions played a key role in this process. They not only provide energy, it also uses heavy element carbon produced by internal nuclear silicon ions sprayed into space. For the next generation raw materials for the formation of stars and planets, it can be said that without these early superstars, there would be no Earth as we know it today, no life, without you and me, every atom in our body. They all originated from a certain star during the dawn exploding of the universe. And now, the Webber telescope. This is the first time we've seen that directly, the moment of creation. But here's the problem. If early superstars and modern superstars, so similar, does this mean the evolution of the universe? It wasn't as intense as we imagined, or rather, is there some profound thing we don't yet understand? Layer mechanisms constrain stellar behavior. Some scientists have proposed a bold hypothesis. Perhaps the physical laws of the universe. It is inherently more rigid than we imagine. Some fundamental processes were locked from the beginning. Regardless of how the external environment changes, the core mechanism will never change. This discovery also has another layer of meaning. Prior to GRB 250314A, our understanding of early stars, almost all of it came from circumstantial evidence, composite spectra of distant galaxies, calculation of theoretical model, results of computer simulation. But now, we have our first real data point. This is similar to when archaeologists studied dinosaurs. Suddenly, a live Tyrannosaurus rex was discovered. Although there is only one, but the amount of information he provided, more than all previous fossils. Project Chief Scientist Angela Vang said, only the James Webb Telescope can directly prove this. These lights did indeed come from greedy, massive stars. This observation also shows we can utilize Webber at a time when the age of the universe is only 5% of its current age. 5% of single stars detected. Imagine, if we consider the 13.8 billion year history compressed of the universe 1 year when this superstar exploded. Only arrived at the hospital in mid-month. We can see now, the light of a candle burning in mid-January. This in itself is a miracle. What's even more exciting is that this is just the beginning. Sunweexing is still monitoring the launch. Whenever a suspected source from the early universe is detected, Gamma Ray Leopard, the tail telescope will immediately follow. Scientists are building an early universe superstar database, no longer relying on a single case. Instead, it reveals statistical patterns through sample analysis. In the next few years, we might see 10, 20 or more superstar from the dawn of the universe. By then, a complete picture of early stars. Only then will the true picture emerge. Moreover, Webber not only saw the supernova, I also saw his house, that faint host galaxy. Although it's just a few pixels of blurry red spots. However, through spectral analysis, scientists have begun to infer the mass of this galaxy, star formation rate, chemical composition. This information tells us, what were the galaxies like in that era? Star, in what kind of environment were they born and died? French astrophysicist Émeric Lovelock commented. Webber's observations, this distant galaxy, compared with other galaxies that existed at the same time, very similar. In other words, although galaxies from 13.4 billion years ago are young, however, it already possesses the basic structure and there's a detail here that's quite intriguing. The Gamma Ray Leopard lasted only 10 seconds. The afterglow quickly faded, without the close collaboration of observatories around the world. If the Sun satellite was several hours slower to detect, if Webberian path did not follow up in time, this information from 13.4 billion years ago, they will be forever drowned out by the noise of the universe. We were able to capture GRB to 50314. To some extent, it's technology. A perfect combination of timing and luck. The universe has given humanity a brief window of opportunity, and we happened to be at the right time, using the right tools to look in the right direction. Now to major papers, published in astronomy, in the astrophysical journal Letters. It shook the entire astronomical community. Part 1. Angel Leuven from Radboud University in the Netherlands. Leading. The title is Supernova After Gamma Ray Burst. The second article is by CEA Saclay, Paris. Bertrand Coria of the laboratory. Leading. Focus on exploding stars in the ionization era. To papers, this confirms the same thing from different perspectives. We are witnessing the deepest secrets of the universe, unveiled one by one. But the story isn't over yet. Scientists are already planning their next steps. They wanted to capitalize on the lingering effects of gamma ray, like using a searchlight to illuminate a dark room, to obtain chemical fingerprints of more distant galaxies. Each galaxy has unique spectral characteristics, just like human DNA. By analyzing these spectra, we can find out how much hydrogen toxicity there is, carbon and oxygen, how fast are stars forming. It can even be deduced whether there is something there, conditions for nurturing life. Imagine, perhaps in some faraway corner, when the universe was only 1 billion years old, planets are already orbiting stars. There may even be simple life forms, starting from Pancham. Although those lives have long since vanished, but their stories may be recorded in the light of those ancient supernova. Webber is helping us interpret these diaries from 13.4 billion years ago. Back to the original question, why is the universe so uniform? Why is Heng separated by 13.4 stars will die in the same way? No one can give a definitive answer at present, but this discovery tells us at least one thing. The underlying logic of the universe is more robust than we imagined. No matter how time and space change, how chemical composition has evolved, some basic physical laws, inscribed since the Big Bang, engraved in the genes of the universe, never change. Even the answer is a new puzzle. Because if everything was already predetermined, if the universe operated according to a fixed script from the very beginning, what about free will? What about chance? The variables that fill the universe with surprises. Where is it hidden again? Perhaps the answer, it is hidden in the next one that was captured by the Weber telescope. Among the captured superstars. Perhaps we need to wait another 13.4 billion years, but one thing is certain. That letter from the universe, Death Notice during the Dawn period, it was just opened. And there are even more secrets waiting to be revealed inside the envelope. 2025. For the first time, humanity truly witnessed the childhood of the universe. And this childhood, it was completely different from what we imagined. It was exactly as we imagined. This is the biggest paradox left to us by GRB 250314. It's also the most beautiful gift.